Howdy folks, welcome to Indie Focus, where I, Jimmy, take you through and review indie games that you've most likely never heard anything about. For today's Indie Focus, we'll take a look at Dungeonmans, developed by Adventure Pro. The game is an epic roguelike adventure inspired by classic RPGs and dungeon crawlers. You create your hero and explore a vast, randomly generated world full of dangerous monsters and awesome loot. You're thrown in the deep end right from the word go, making one of the most important decisions in the entire game, what you plan to call your brand new, soon-to-be explored world. Now, you do get some creative freedom with what you want to call it. You can choose anything your heart desires. In the end, I decided to tone my heart down just a little bit and keep it relatively nice and simple. With the stressful naming of the world behind us, we move on to character creation. In Dungeonmans, you get a lot of power to mold the champion of your dreams. The basic choose your name is the first step, but then you go through the process of defining your character's base stats, what class you want to play as, what perks you want to complement your playstyle, and what you want your character to look like. Once these choices are all made, your adventure truly begins. You start off in the Dungeonmans Academy, a sort of base of operations. As you progress through the game, you can unlock more rooms for the Academy and have the NPCs provide you with additional benefits the more you adventure. Outside of the Academy is where the real crazy fun begins. Your randomly generated world is full of different areas to explore, from monster-filled dungeons to towns full of helpful NPCs. Monsters can also be randomly encountered while running across the world. Poor Adam. Didn't even stand a chance. As you explore dungeons, you'll come across plenty of interesting enemies that all have different ways in which they plan to kill you. Champion enemies also have random chances to appear, which, although having some pretty amazing loot, can tear you to shreds in a number of hits. Leveling up is your best bet at surviving. Each level up provides you with a skill point that you can put into an area of your choice. You're not limited to the skills just from the class you chose at the start. You can also aim to build an all-round character if you so want to. At the end of each dungeon, you'll come upon a special boss monster, the champion enemy of that location. Now, these boss monsters, like the champion enemies, will stop at nothing to defeat you in just a few hits. If you prepare well and get lucky enough, an abundance of loot is waiting for you once they're defeated. Alongside dungeons, you can also discover NPC-populated towns, which offer you different shops for you to sell and buy new goods. And if you've got the time, you can always dance with the locals at local watering hole. Your journey is endless. The world is full of exciting, rewarding places to visit, and when one hero falls, another will take its place. So was the way of Kev, and then his son, Kev Jr. But in the end, Kev Jr.'s daughter, Kev Jr. did the family proud and avenged both her father and her grandfather. Bless her soul. You have full control on how you want your adventure to play out. The sandbox style of this game allows you to endlessly explore different paths till you find the right one that suits you and rewards persistent exploring, even if it results in a few deaths here and there. Dungeonmans is available on Steam for the current price of $15, where you can also, for just a little bit more money, purchase the soundtrack and almanac filled with art and guides for the game. Thanks for checking out this episode of Indie Focus. We will be back next time with a brand new game to check out. Hope to see you then.